Welcome back to Beginner Adult Hockey. So in this episode, we are on the floor because I wanted to talk to you about the upcoming hockey season. We're filming this the very first day of August, which means that if you have a new hockey season probably coming up either this month in September or October, so I wanted to talk to you about the things you need to do to get you ready for the upcoming hockey season. You'll see my bag is quite a mess because when I end a hockey season, I'm kind of like, I'll deal with that later, right? So everything's kind of just piled in here. But to get started, number one to get ready for the upcoming hockey season is you want to get your skates sharpened. Generally, I get to the end of the season and I don't even think about it because the season's about to end. But if you're like me and you only get your skates sharpened once or twice a year, make sure this is something you do right before the beginning of the next hockey season because it's a good time just to remember to do it and go out and get them sharpened. All right, the next one, and this is actually two put into one. Number one, air out your hockey gear. If you have not looked at this since May or April or March or whenever your hockey season ended, chances are you need to take it out of your bag. All you have to do, take everything out, just lay it on the ground and Febreze, Febreze, Febreze. Conversely, the other thing you can do is give your hockey gear a good wash. You should be doing this once or twice a year at least. I have a couple videos which I will post above about how to wash your hockey gear in the dishwasher, the washing machine, or the bathtub. If you want to do that, it's a little gentler, definitely. Since I learned I can do it in the washing machine, I kind of just do everything there that I can. But pretty much almost everything can go in the washing machine except for obviously your skates and your helmet. But even those you should get some wet wipes, wash them down, Lysol them, that gets rid of a lot of germs and stuff. Wash your hockey gear, Febreze it, do all the things you can. Make sure it doesn't, well, I don't want to say make sure it doesn't smell like hockey because that is a really hard smell to get out even if you wash it, but do everything you can to make sure it's as clean as possible before the hockey season starts. Next, you want to just check all your hockey gear. You want to make sure that if there's holes in it, that you either get them replaced or you replace that item. For instance, check all your Velcro, make sure it's still good. Check your helmet, make sure it has all of its screws, all that kind of stuff, and that everything still fits correctly. Maybe your head grew over the summer, I don't know. Anything like that, you want to make sure that all your stuff is still in good shape, because if it's not in good shape and you have to buy something new, you may have to order it online or order it in from a supplier if you go to a local store. So you just want to make sure you do that in advance because that'll be important to have done before the hockey season starts. Next, you just want to check for any equipment regulations. This year, as far as I know in most leagues, there are no new regulations for adult hockey players. However, there are for youth hockey players and youth refs. You have to wear a neck guard as of August 1st this year. So make sure if you're a parent of a child or you're a child yourself, a youth player, that you have that neck guard. You'll want to make sure every year to check this because sometimes there are new regulations in terms of equipment. I have seen some neck guards. They were pretty expensive when they first came out. I don't think I found one for under $100, but now they've come down. I think I saw one for like $19 the other day, which is still not no money, especially if you're buying all this stuff, but it's a lot less expensive than $100. So it's go out, get your neck guard, get 2 or 3, because if it comes off or something happens to it in the middle of a game or before a game, they're not going to let you on the ice if you are a youth hockey player this year. Kind of on that same note, you also want to always check rules changes. Next year, very exciting, USA Hockey comes out with new rules every 5 years, so their new rule book is going to be coming out in 2025, and they'll send you a list of all the rules changes. Usually there's not a ton, but you'll want to know what those rules changes are so that you're prepared for the season. But it's just a good habit before the start of every season just to check for rules changes. Hockey Canada may have some rules changes as well. NHL rules changes do not affect you except for as a fan, unless you're a NHL player, which if you are, you're probably not watching this channel. But sometimes those rules changes do trickle down. If the NHL makes a change, eventually it'll get to USA Hockey or Hockey Canada. But for now, I do not believe that USA Hockey has any rules changes for 2024, but they will have a bunch for 2025, so make sure you look for that next year. Before the hockey season starts, you'll also want to renew your USA Hockey or Hockey Canada memberships. It does not matter when you sign up as long as it's after the start date because it'll last the entire season. So sign up now, get it done with. It's just one more piece of money that you can get out of the way now before the season starts. All right, check for new jerseys. If you are a team captain and you're responsible for jerseys, you may have to get new jerseys for your entire team, or if it's a brand new team. If you're just a player though, check with your team captain, see what colors you're wearing or if you're going to be getting jerseys. Like for instance, I have a red jersey, right, from a former team that I played on. This would not work for most teams unless they're very specifically red, but always make sure you have a dark and a light jersey with you at all times just in case, but do check with your team captain and just check and see what jerseys you'll be wearing this year. Next, don't forget to stock up on hockey tape, and I mean both sock tape, which is this, and also stick tape. This one, I have about 8 of these in my bag with the exact same amount of tape on them. I did not realize I was so out of tape, so it's always good before the season starts to not run out of tape, to restock up on tape. I generally get these off Amazon. They're like 10 of them, 10 rolls for like 15 or 20 bucks. Like they're pretty cheap, and then this will last me all year. So just make sure before the season starts you want to stock up on your tape, because you don't want to be that teammate who is asking people for tape, especially during the first game, because nobody likes that guy forever. They'll be okay for a game or two, but you'll just want to make sure that you get some tape as soon as you can. And speaking of tape, you want to make sure that you retape your stick as well. I do not think very much about retaping my stick because I am not the best player in the world, and I don't want to say I pray for the puck not to touch my stick, but I am not the biggest fan. I like to be a support player and kind of help people out. But but you'll see, I mean, I have, some things coming off. I'll need to retape my stick also on the very bottom. You never notice, but this is the piece that touches the ice, and there's just no tape on the bottom anymore. So you'll just want to make sure that before the season starts, it's always a good reminder, whether you tape your stick once a year or you do it before every single game, just do it before the season starts so that you know that it's done. All right, next is going to be accessories. Any sort of accessories that you need in your bag, just make sure that you're stocked up on them. I mean, any sort of under things, obviously, this is a Jill right here for a woman, but a man will have a cup, right, and his shorts and everything. And then anything like this, I always have 100 hair ties in my bag, just in case I need them, or in case another, I don't want to say a woman or anybody with long hair needs them. And then also this holds back my bangs as well. I always like to bring a little bottle of Febreze, which I just found out I did not have in my bag. I mean, if all else fails, if it spills, things are just gonna smell better. I do also like to keep a dryer sheet in my bag as well. It kind of keeps everything a little bit fresh. A couple things I don't have in here and I need to go get is, one, a screwdriver. It's always a good idea to have a screwdriver because there are always going to be screws that come out, whether it's your helmet or somebody else's helmet. And it's always just nice to have there in case somebody asks for it and needs it in an emergency. I had one in here. I don't know what happened to it. It's not here anymore. So always check your bag before the season starts for that. And then it's always a good idea as well to bring a bottle opener. Whether you drink or not, it's nice to have one there for in case anybody needs it. All right, next you want to make sure that you have signed all league waivers and you've read all the rules of your league so that you know exactly what you're going to be doing. And it's always helpful for a team captain to get your league rules or your league waiver signed as soon as possible. So that's one less thing they have to think about, but then also your fees. If you sign up as an individual, and this is going to be more of an individual league where they kind of put you on a team, usually you pay when you sign up. So that's probably already done for you. And if you are a part of a team that pays as a team, then you should pay your team captain as soon as possible because they do not have a fun job of having to collect all of those fees from hockey players. So they're always hunting people down until the very last minute. So take one thing off their mind, pay as soon as you possibly can, and then get that out of the way as soon as you can. And then lastly, just make sure that you have the right game app or whatever your team uses to check in. I've never been a part of a team or a league that doesn't use Bench App. Bench App is an amazing app that actually you have your whole team there. You go and you can check in, you can check out, you can say I'm going to be there or not. It tells you who to bring beer, it tells you what your schedule is, all that kind of stuff. It is an amazing app. However, if your team does not use Bench App or a similar app to that, and you use like a Facebook group or Facebook messaging or a text message thread or whatever they use, just make sure you know what that is and that you're on board with that, that you get the Facebook app or that you get the text message thread or whatever, because it's so important for the team captains. You can tell that I team captained for my first time last year, and it's just so frustrating when people don't check in when they're supposed to, or don't check out and then don't show up. So just make sure that you're doing that. There's nothing wrong with not going to games because it happens to everybody, but like I've said in previous videos, there's nothing worse than saying you're going to a game and then not going to a game because it just kind of messes everything up. So that's it. Those are the things that I think you should think about before the season starts, just to prepare. I hope that you all got on a team or in a league this year. If you didn't, that's okay. Just go out and keep practicing and keep looking around your area to see any leagues or teams that you can join. But if you did, congratulations, and I want to hear all about it. Let me know how it goes when you start or when you continue playing or anything like that. Don't forget to like and subscribe to this channel because we are growing here. And let me know if you want to see any other videos in the future. Have a good day.